What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome back to the channel. Well, here we are, folks. It is hard to believe, but today marks another monumental milestone for the A Song of Ice and Fire community, albeit a milestone that I'm sure most of us wish we could just forget entirely. But on this day, July 12th, 2011, exactly 12 years ago, was the official release date of A Dance with Dragons, the fifth novel in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. That is right, everybody. It has been exactly 12 years to the day that we have been waiting for Winds of Winter. 12 long years. And it looks like we still have a little bit of ways to wait before we get it in hand. As of the filming of this video, we have yet to receive any official updates from George R.R. Martin regarding the Winds of Winter for a very long time. The last update with any substance that we got came months ago, where George announced that he had around 11 to 1,200 pages already written, but still another 400 to 500 pages left to go. And at the time, I thought that was pretty decent news. I try to be a glass half full kind of guy when it comes to the wait for the Winds of Winter, but it has been 12 years up until this point, and I know a lot of fans are getting very frustrated with the wait, which is totally understandable. It has been 12 years after all. Given the recent news of the writer's strike that has been going on across Hollywood, which George was staunchly in favor of, I had a feeling that maybe potentially George could have some time or devote some of this free time to completing the Winds of Winter. But it seems like George has his hands in many different pies that seem to be slowing the Winds of Winter down. And of course, we are hearing a ton of rumors, albeit unconfirmed, that George has written himself into a little bit of a corner, perhaps, having killed off some characters that he thinks he might have needed down the road. I definitely take those rumors with a heavy pinch of salt. George being such a veteran writer that he is, I have it hard to believe that he would write himself into a corner like that in his magnum opus, which is A Song of Ice and Fire. But who knows, anything is possible. And given all the recent news about all of the other A Song of Ice and Fire spin-offs potentially in development, it seems like George is only going to have even less time devoted to writing Winds of Winter once this writer's strike is eventually over. So I was really hoping George would take the time that this writer's strike was on to sit down and really devote himself to finishing the Winds of Winter. It seems like he can't work on much else while this writer's strike is going on. All of the other projects that he is involved with are most likely guild associated as well, so they are probably on strike. So it seems like Winds of Winter is one of the only things that he is allowed to work on. Personal prose are not part of the Writers Guild. Therefore, George would definitely be able to still work on Winds of Winter during the writer's strike. The Winds of Winter will be the sixth of a 7-book series in the A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, and it is probably the most anticipated volume of the series, considering that the majority of the action will probably be taking place in the Winds of Winter. And there is a ton of really interesting plot lines that I personally am really looking forward to seeing wrap up, and I'm sure you guys are as well. Stuff like Jon Snow's resurrection. Will he be resurrected? If he will, how will he be brought back? Will Melisandre have a hand in it? Will it be by some other means? What exactly is going on there? What is going on with Stannis and the Boltons up at Winterfell? What is going on with Mance Rayder down at Winterfell? A lot of stuff happening up north. And of course, we've got everything happening down south. We've got Cersei with the Faith Militant and her trial coming up. We got everything that is going on with Jaime, Brienne, and Lady Stoneheart in the cave, what I am really looking forward to seeing how all of that turns out. And of course, what exactly is Euron Greyjoy up to? We got an incredible preview chapter of the Winds of Winter, a Euron Greyjoy chapter entitled The Forsaken, and in it, it points to Euron Greyjoy planning something absolutely massive in terms of a big sacrifice that it seems like he is gearing up for. He has priests and holy men from all different types of religions and faiths locked up on his ship, and it seems like he is planning for something very, very grim. And of course, we have Daenerys, stuck out there in the Dothraki Sea. What exactly will happen with Daenerys? How will she be rescued? Will she eventually make her way to Westeros in Winds? I have a feeling she probably will. Tons of stuff still to get to. And of course, the Long Night. And George did say that we would be going further north than ever before during the Winds of Winter, and I will be incredibly surprised if the Long Night doesn't start in the Winds of Winter. As I said, it seems like the majority of the action is going to be taking place during Winds, and George has previously stated that A Dream of Spring is going to be more closer to a epilogue of sorts, where we're going to see the aftermath of everything. So I have a feeling the majority of the big climactic events are probably going to come during Winds of Winter, hence why it's the longest book in the series. What exactly will George reveal about the mysterious others? Were they created by the Children of the Forest like they were on the show, or is there some other type of origin that George has in mind for the books? And what exactly will Bran's role be in all of this? In the books, Bran has been hyped up to be a pretty important character when it comes to facing the Long Night, as he was on the show as well. But at the end of the day, on the show, he turned out to be little more than just bait at the end of the day, which was a little bit of a letdown considering how much he was hyped up. So I definitely get the feeling that when the Winds of Winter comes around, Bran is going to have a much more prominent role in the Long Night, and I don't mean by just bait. He'll definitely have an active role in stopping the others, I have a feeling. And speaking of the others, we still know almost nothing about their true nature, origins, or their true objective in the books. On the show, it was revealed that the Night King was ultimately seeking revenge. He kind of wanted to end the world of man for revenge for what happened to him, being turned into the first White Walker. And seeing as there is no Night King in the book, at least no Night King like we saw on the show, I get the feeling their ultimate motives are going to be a little bit different. We did, of course, get a figure called the Night's King that lived thousands of years ago, but he was a human, the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, who fell prey to some sort of magic from beyond the wall, most likely a female other by the look of it, and was a totally different character from the Night King that we saw on the show, the leader of the White Walkers. So overall, I'm really looking forward to seeing what George is going to reveal about the others in the book. How will it compare to the show? I get the feeling it's going to be much, much different. But those are just some of the plot lines that I am looking forward to the most when Winds of Winter does eventually hit shelves. When that will be, I guess only George knows. As we recently stated, it has been exactly 12 years since A Dance with Dragons has released. 12 long years that we have been waiting on the Winds of Winter. So hopefully George can get this thing cranked out and out to us within the next year or two at the latest. I'm hoping at least. But let me know your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. When do you think Winds of Winter will come out, or do you think it will come out at all? I know there are some fans who think Winds of Winter will never even come out. I have a feeling Winds will eventually come out. It's a dream of spring that I'm a little bit more worried about overall, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But definitely leave your thoughts and comments down below. And that is going to do it for us today. Don't forget to hit that like on your way out, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications to stay up to date on all things A Song of Ice and Fire. And as always, I want to thank everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.